Good morning, dear students. Today I am going to start a new chapter, chapter 16, digestion and absorption. So this chapter is from human physiology. Alright. The process of conversion of complex food substance to simple absorbable form is called digestion. It is carried out by digestive system, by mechanical and the biochemical process. So what do you understand by digestion? Digestion, so that is a process where the complex food material, they can be broken into simple food materials. Because you know that in the form of the food we take different types of the food. Either it can be carbohydrate, protein or fat. But these are all the complex food and directly they cannot be used in the body. So for directly giving the energy or to be used in the body, there is a requirement to break down of the complex food into simple one. Simple and so that they can be absorbed by the cytoplasm or by the protoplasm. So the process that is called digestion. And for the process of the digestion, you know that if it is simple organism, then the taking in food and the giving out the waste material, so that is taken by the cell membrane. For example, suppose amoeba the body is composed of one cell. So there in the amoeba you can find out there is no digestive system. The cell itself, it can carry out all the different metabolic activities. But as we move to the complex organisms like the human, you know that we are having a proper digestive systems where many organs they are associated together to carry out the process of digestion. So the digestive system, it is having alimentary canal and also digestive glands which are associated with the alimentary canal. Now what is nutrition? Nutrition, so that is the process of taking or the consuming food. Because we are taking in food and the mouth or the oral cavity, so that is the way through which the food is taken into the alimentary canal. So there are two types of nutrition, one is the autotrophic, another is heterotrophic. So autotrophic, all of you know that green plants they are called as the autotrophs because they can prepare their own food or the organic compounds from the simple inorganic molecules. So they are called as the autotrophs. And the heterotrophs, they are all animals who cannot prepare their own food directly or indirectly, they are depending on the plants. So they are called as the heterotrophs. Now again the heterotroph, so that is also subdivided into holozoic, holophytic, saprophytic and parasitic. So what is holozoic? Holozoic means we can consume solid food. If the solid food is directly taken, so that is called holozoic. Then the holophytic means the food is taken in the form of the liquid. For example, plants. Now plants, you know that the plants, they are taking the food or the food is transported to different parts when the food, so that is soluble in water. So the water is the medium which is responsible for the transport of the food material. So this is called holophytic. Then the saprophytic means the organism who depends on dead and decay organic matter. For example, fungus and bacteria. So from these organic compounds, by the process of the decomposition, they are getting the food and this kind of the nutrition, so that is called saprophytic. And the example is fungus. Then the parasites, here you can find out these organisms, they are depending on the living host. So either they are remaining outside the body of the host or they are remaining inside the body of the host. And depending on the place where they are present, they can be either ectoparasite or endoparasite. Endoparasite are the parasites which are remaining inside the body of the host and the ectoparasite they are remaining outside the body of the host. But they cannot prepare their food and they are depending on the host for getting the food. So these are all the different ways how the nourishment can be taken by the living organisms. Now what are the different types of the foods? Because you know that, for example, suppose you take the human beings, we are omnivores and we take both plants as well as the flesh of animals. But the food is actually divided in mainly into three categories. One is carbohydrate, second is the protein, third is the fat, and also besides these three, we are also taking vitamins and minerals. So the carbohydrate, so that is the food which is having carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. For example, sugar, so that is carbohydrates. Also in the carbohydrate, you know that it is also divided into monosaccharide, disaccharide and the polysaccharide, depending on the complexity of the carbohydrates or the biomolecules. Monosaccharide, these are all the simple sugar. Then the disaccharide, two monosaccharide combined together to produce the disaccharide. And the polysaccharides, they are having many monosaccharides which are joined together. Alright. Then the second type of the food, so that is protein. Protein is also having carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen, sometimes sulfur. So the protein, so that is called body building food. Why? Because for making the body or for the growth and the development, there is requirement of the protein. So that is the reason the small children, there is more requirement of the protein in comparison to the old people. Then the third one, so that is the fat. Again, the fat is also a biomolecule of carbon, hydrogen and the oxygen. And fat also can produce energy. Like for example, suppose you take your own skin. Below the skin there is deposition of the fat. Suppose you are not taking food, you are on fasting, then the fat which is there below the skin, it can burn, it can produce the energy. So the fat, it can produce maximum amount of the energy. Then the vitamins and the minerals, these two type of the foods, they are not producing energy. There is no energy produced. Then what is the requirement? The requirement is that the vitamins, they can keep the body healthy. You know there are different types of vitamins like vitamin A and then vitamin B, vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin D. Alright. So it is not producing any energy, but for keeping the body healthy there is a requirement of vitamins. Then the minerals, you know that there are different types of the minerals, they are also needed in the body. For example, suppose you take the calcium and the phosphorus. Calcium and the phosphorus, they are needed for the growth and development of the bone and the teeth. For example, iron. So iron is necessary in the formation of the hemoglobin. So for the normal growth and the development also, there are many different minerals, they are also needed in the body. So although they are not producing energy, but for a healthy body there is requirement of the vitamins and the minerals. And the last one, so that is water. Water is also not producing energy, but the water, so that is a good solvent. And all the food we are taking, so that is soluble in the water, so that is a transport medium which can transport the digested food from one part of the body to another part. Either it is taken place with the help of the blood or it is soluble in the water. So these are all the different type of the food we are taking. So what are different steps in the process of nutrition? Number one is ingestion, then digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So what is the meaning of the ingestion? Ingestion, so that is taking food. Taking food. And the process of taking food, so that is also different in different organisms. If you take amoeba, then the food is entering with the help of the pseudopodia. If you take hydra, then the tentacles, they are helping to catch the food. If you take the human being, then we are having the oral cavity or the mouth through which the food is entering into the alimentary canal. So the process of taking in the food is called ingestion. Then what is digestion? Digestion means the breakdown of the food. And how the food, so that is breaking down with the help of enzymes. Because the enzymes, these are all the biocatalysts. And these enzymes, they are responsible to break the complex molecule into the simple one, so that the simple molecules directly they can enter into the blood. So that process is taking place in alimentary canal or with the help of the digestive system. Then the third is that the absorption. How the food is absorbed and ultimately entering into the blood. Because in the small intestine you can find out there are many finger-like projections are there which are called villi, and through villi the food is entering into the blood. All the blood capillaries they are surrounding the alimentary canal. Then from the blood it is transmitted to each and every living cell. So that process is called absorption. Then the assimilation means what is the use of the food? The food is used in making the cytoplasm or any other part of the cell. So that process is called assimilation. And the egestion means all the undigested food, so that is given out of body. That process is called egestion. So altogether you can find out the process of the digestion. So that is completed in 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Alright, now the first entry through which the food is entering into the alimentary canal, so that is the mouth or the oral cavity. And inside the mouth you can find out there is the upper jaw is there, lower jaw is there, lips are there, upper and the lower lips are there. So inside the mouth, the oral cavity, you can find out there are different type of the teeth are there. The number is 32. In the adults you can find out there are 32 teeth are there. And what is dentition? Dentition means the arrangement of the teeth inside the mouth or the oral cavity. Then what is the meaning of the homodont? Homodont means if there are similar kinds of teeth. Like for example, suppose you take fish. In the fish you can find out all teeth, they are similar. The size and the shape, so that is similar. So those kind of the teeth is called homodont. And heterodont means if the teeth, they are not similar. You can find out there are different type of the teeth are there. The shape is also different and the size is also different and the function is also different. So that is called heterodont. So here you can find out they are dissimilar, both in shape and as well as in function. Alright. So in the heterodont, in case of the human beings, there are 4 different kinds of the teeth in the oral cavity. One is the incisor, second is the canine, third is the premolar, and last one is the molar. So the incisor you can find out, so that is in the front part of the mouth or the oral cavity. And the incisor, these are all pointed. What is the function? So that is the cutting and the biting the food. Because when the food is entering inside the oral cavity, it is entering as solid. Because the human beings, we are holozoid. So then the solid food, so that is mixing with saliva and it is becoming semi-solid. Then the teeth are helping to cut the food, to grind the food or to tear the food. So all the functions, so that is done with the help of the different type of the teeth. Then the canine, they are found in carnivorous animals. Beside incisor, you can find out there is the canine, and the canine is more pointed than the incisor. So what is the function of the canine? The canine, they are holding and tearing the flesh. Because the flesh-eating animals, they are having canine, so they are called carnivorous. And these canine teeth, because they are very sharp and pointed, so they are helping to tear the flesh. Then next to the canine, you can find out the premolar is there. And the premolar, it is having the broad cups. You can find out the area of the premolar, so that is more in comparison to the canine and the incisor. Because the canine and the incisor, they are pointed. Whereas the premolar and the molar, you can find out it is having the broad area. So what is the function of the premolar? It is crushing and chewing the food. Because ultimately the food, when it is entering into the oral cavity, then it is chewed with the help of the teeth. And gradually it is broken down into small particles. So that is the function of the premolar. And the molar is the last teeth and it is helping in grinding. So the incisor and the canine, you can find out it is also having a sharp base. Whereas the premolar and the molar, you can find out as there are 2 cups are there. So similarly here on the lower side also you can find out they are having 2 roots. So these are all the function of the different type of the teeth. So in different organisms you can find out the number and the arrangement of the teeth, so that is different. And also you can find out there is dental formula is there, depending on the number and the arrangement of the teeth. So here I have written dental formula. This is I for incisor, C for canine, PM for premolar, M for molar. So here I am writing the number of teeth in one side of the upper jaw and one side of the lower jaw. Alright, so here I have written incisor is the upper jaw 2 in number, lower jaw also 2 in number. Then the canine, the upper jaw is 1 in number, and the lower is also 1 in number. Then the premolar, upper jaw, one side 2 in number, and the lower side also 2 in number. Then the molar, which is the last one, so that is 3 and 3. So altogether 8 by 8, and also you can find out the same number, so that is also in this side. So altogether in the human beings, in the adults, the number, so that is 32, and this is called dental formula. Then in the human beings you can find out there are also, depending on the presence, there are 2 types of the teeth. One is the temporary or deciduous or milk teeth, and the another is the permanent teeth. So milk teeth, that is 20 in number, whereas the permanent teeth, that is 32 in number. Temporary teeth, so that is found in small children, and at the age of 18 you can find out the temporary teeth, so that is replaced by permanent teeth, and the permanent teeth, so that will remain for the whole life period. But the temporary teeth, they are not remaining for the whole life period. Maximum up to the age of the 18 you can find out they are replaced by permanent teeth. So there are two types of the teeth, one is the temporary, another is the permanent. Then what is the structure of one tooth? Tooth is having three parts: root, neck and crown. Now here you see the diagram. Now you have seen in your mouth cavity, oral cavity, their jawbones are there, and the tooth is attached to the jawbone with the help of the cement. As in making the building, we are using the cement to join the bricks. So here also you can find out the tooth, so that is connected to the jawbone with the help of a cementing material. Now this part, which is on the same level with the jawbone, you can find out, so that is called the neck. This part is called neck. And the part of the tooth which is buried inside the jawbone, so that is called root. The part which is above the gum, so that is called crown. So altogether it is divided into three parts: root, which is embedded in the jaw, and the neck, so that is in the same level with the jaw bones. Then the crown you can find out, so that is the part which is arising above the jaw. And the outermost layer of the tooth, so that is called enamel. Enamel, so that is white in the color, and it is the hardest material in the human body, and it is non-living. Then below the enamel you can find out there is another layer which is slightly light yellow in the color. So that layer is called dentine. And the dentine you can find out, so that is living. Enamel, so that is non-living, whereas the dentine, so that is living. And in the dentine also you can find out there are strands of cytoplasm. You can find out there is cytoplasm because it is a living layer. Then inside the tooth you can find out there is a cavity is there, so that is called pulp cavity. And in the pulp cavity there is blood capillaries, they are also present. Also you can find out the nerve fiber, they are present. Why blood capillaries are present? Because it is also living. And there is also requirement of the food. So the food is supplied with the help of the blood capillaries or the blood. So here in the pulp cavity you can find out both the blood capillaries are also there, and also it is connected to the nervous system. Sometimes in case of the decay of the tooth you can find out when the nerve endings are exposed. Then if you take anything which is hot or the cold, then you can feel pain in the tooth. So why? Because in the pulp cavity nerve fiber they are present. Then it is connected to the jawbone and the cement, so that is the material which is holding your tooth in the proper place. So these are all different parts of tooth.